Hey there! Welcome to today's lesson. Fiction, as we have learned, is the subgenre of literature that deals with imaginative writing. To benefit more from fiction writing, it was further divided into different types. So now we have myth, legend, adventure, fantasy, fairy tale, mystery, scientific, and more. In this lesson, we will discuss fantasy fiction. Have you come across books that tell stories of unicorns, dragons, wizards, witches, or elves? Those books are fantasy fiction. Fantasy fiction is a book that contains things that are not real. Most of the elements in fantasy fiction can never be real in our world. Imagine a woman abandons her baby boy close to a dragon's den. The dragon comes out of its den, sees the baby, and takes the baby into its den to care for it. As the baby boy grew, he began to develop wings like the dragon and exude fire from its mouth. Wow, that would be cool, right? Well, snap out of that imagination. It's only a fantasy, it's not real. There are no dragons, humans can't grow wings, neither can they exude fire like dragons. Though all these things are not real, fantasy writers make them real in their stories. Fantasy fiction does not only have imaginary characters, they also have imaginary settings. Fantasy writers sometimes create settings that do not exist in the real world. For example, a land of dragons, a city of fairies, and many more magical worlds. Events in fantasy fiction are also made up, like a dragon caring for a baby, an elf marrying a fairy, or tables and chairs talking. The story elements are simply imagined. Fantasy fiction, even though unreal, are written by real authors and they teach morals and messages that connect to the real world. A dragon caring for a baby teaches that it is good to care for one another. Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "Imagination rules the world." Have you been imagining things that can never exist in the real world? You should make a story out of it and become a historic author today. Bye, friends.